In this video, you will learn how to turn an ordinary cup of coffee into a true elixir of youth. A drink that not only energizes but also slows down aging, protects against cancer, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, osteoporosis, and age-related memory loss. It helps preserve energy, mental clarity, and long-term health. But for coffee to truly act as an elixir, it is essential to follow 5 key conditions confirmed by 26 scientific studies. Choose the right variety, prepare it correctly, drink it at the right time, follow the exact dosage, and never combine it with incompatible foods. Now you'll see how it all works in practice. Let's look at the first factor, the timing of coffee consumption. A large study involving more than 40,000 people showed that drinking 1 to 2 cups of coffee before lunch reduces mortality by 15%, and drinking 2 to 3 cups before 12 to 1 p.m. reduces it by 1/3. In contrast, drinking coffee after lunch had no effect on life expectancy. The peak level of cortisol, the hormone of alertness, is observed 1 hour after waking up. After that, it gradually decreases throughout the day. At 3 to 4 p.m., there is no sharp drop in cortisol. The most noticeable decrease occurs between 9 and 11 a.m. This time is optimal for coffee consumption, as caffeine further stimulates cortisol production and maintains alertness. Coffee binds micronutrients such as zinc, iron, and copper. If consumed during a meal, the body loses up to 1/3 of these nutrients. Therefore, it is recommended to drink coffee 1 to 2 hours after eating. In a small percentage of people, coffee causes heartburn regardless of the time of consumption. For the majority, this reaction does not occur. The optimal time to drink coffee is between 9 a.m. and 12 to 1 p.m., ideally 30 to 60 minutes before lunch. A second acceptable time window is right after waking up if there is no tendency toward heartburn. In this case, coffee stimulates bile flow and bowel movement, helping to prevent constipation. In 1/3 of people, these effects begin within 4 minutes of coffee intake. In cases of gallstones, coffee should be consumed with caution. The first cup can be consumed on an empty stomach 30 to 60 minutes before breakfast. The second and third cups between breakfast and lunch about 1 hour before the next meal. According to research, this is the amount of coffee associated with increased life expectancy. Coffee should not replace breakfast. A complete meal is essential. A proper breakfast ensures stable energy levels throughout the day. Recommendation number 1, drink coffee in the first half of the day. The first cup immediately after waking up or 30 to 60 minutes before breakfast, the second, and if needed, the third, between breakfast and lunch, but no later than 1 hour before eating. Now, the second factor, the amount of coffee. A meta-analysis of 40 scientific studies involving nearly 4 million people showed that optimal longevity is observed with the consumption of 2 to 4 cups of coffee per day. Another large project involving 400,000 people over 15 years found that men benefit most from drinking 2 to 3 cups a day, and women 3 to 4 cups. If it's difficult to consume the full amount before lunch, it can be split, about 2/3 before lunch and the remaining part after. Recommendation number 2, drink 2 to 4 cups of coffee daily, preferably before lunch. If necessary, up to 1/3 of the total volume can be consumed in the afternoon. Caffeine, contrary to popular myths, is one of the main sources of coffee's health benefits. Its antioxidant and stimulating properties are supported by research. According to a large study conducted in 2025 with 47,000 participants over a 32-year period, regular consumption of caffeinated coffee increased the chances of healthy aging by 5% compared to decaffeinated coffee or tea. In this study, healthy aging was defined as living to age 70 or older, absence of serious chronic illnesses, maintaining physical activity, mental health, clear thinking, and memory. At the same time, decaffeinated coffee did not show the same effect. However, this does not mean caffeine is necessary for everyone. People sensitive to caffeine, those who may experience anxiety or insomnia after 2 to 3 cups in the morning, can substitute part of their daily intake with decaffeinated coffee. This is supported by another large-scale study involving 400,000 people over 13 years. It found that for those with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and respiratory conditions, decaffeinated coffee reduced mortality even slightly more than regular coffee. Thus, both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee can be beneficial, depending on individual tolerance and health conditions. There used to be a belief that decaffeinated coffee was harmful. This came from the use of trichloroethylene in the 1970s to remove caffeine, a substance later found to be carcinogenic. Today, this method is no longer used. Modern decaffeination processes involve water extraction or the use of carbon dioxide, both of which are safe and do not pose a health risk. Decaffeinated coffee retains all the important antioxidants, chlorogenic acid, catechins, and other polyphenols. These compounds are not destroyed during the decaffeination process and continue to benefit the body. Recommendation number 3. If you tolerate caffeine well, drink regular coffee with caffeine. If you experience anxiety, insomnia, or sensitivity to caffeine, you can replace part of your daily intake, up to 2 to 4 cups per day, with decaffeinated coffee. The next important factor is the preparation method. The greatest benefits come from coffee brewed through a paper filter. This was proven in a large-scale study involving 500,000 people over the course of 20 years. Drinking 1 to 4 cups of filtered coffee per day reduced mortality by 16%, while unfiltered coffee, on the contrary, increased mortality by 6%. The reason lies in the presence of compounds called diterpenes, caffeine and kawiol, in unfiltered coffee. These fat-soluble substances significantly increase total and bad cholesterol, LDL, levels. The amount of diterpenes in unfiltered coffee is approximately 30 times higher than in coffee passed through a paper filter. The highest levels of diterpenes are found in coffee prepared in a sezv, Turkish pot, French press, or simply steeped in a cup without filtration. The lowest levels are in coffee brewed using a drip coffee maker with a paper filter. Coffee made in an espresso machine, capsule machine, or instant coffee also contains fewer diterpenes. Instant coffee goes through a filtration process during production, making it less harmful in terms of cholesterol profile, though it also contains fewer beneficial compounds compared to freshly ground coffee. Studies have also shown that drinking more than 4 to 6 cups of coffee per day offers no additional benefit. Consuming more than 6 cups a day may increase mortality risk, regardless of the type of coffee or preparation method. Use a paper filter when preparing coffee. The optimal method is a drip coffee maker. Avoid brewing in a sezv French press or directly in a cup. The daily norm is from 1 to 4 cups. When coffee is filtered through a paper filter, it becomes safer for the cardiovascular system. It is important to use a paper filter as metal and reusable cloth filters do not effectively retain harmful substances, the diterpenes, caffeine and kawiol, that raise total and bad cholesterol levels in the blood. Only a paper filter effectively removes diterpenes. Therefore, any coffee, whether espresso, capsule, Turkish style, or French press, should be additionally filtered through a regular paper filter. Without this filter, coffee may not only be ineffective, but also harmful. Recommendation number 4, use a paper filter when preparing any coffee. Metal and cloth filters are not suitable. The next question, instant or ground coffee? Research shows that natural ground coffee contains more beneficial compounds. At the same time, instant coffee can be an alternative, but not for everyone. One large study found that women who drank instant coffee had a 50% higher risk of developing breast cancer compared to those who drank natural coffee. Moreover, women who regularly drank natural coffee had a 50% lower risk of cancer compared to those who didn't drink coffee at all. The reason lies in the presence of acrylamide, a carcinogenic and neurotoxic compound. Even the best instant coffee contains twice as much acrylamide as the lowest quality natural coffee, and the highest levels are found in coffee substitutes made from barley, oats, acorns, and chicory. Although acrylamide content in most cases remains below permissible limits, women are more sensitive to it. Therefore, it is better for women to avoid instant coffee and coffee substitutes, including chicory. Recommendation number 5, men can drink both natural and instant coffee. Women are advised to drink only natural ground coffee and avoid instant coffee and coffee substitutes. Now about milk in coffee. Adding milk does not affect caffeine content. Neither milk protein nor fat binds caffeine. However, they do bind polyphenols, the main source of coffee's benefits. As a result, the polyphenol level in the blood of someone who drinks coffee with milk is the same as in someone who drinks plain water. People who drink black coffee have 2.5 times higher levels of polyphenols in their blood. Polyphenols, particularly chlorogenic acid, possess powerful antioxidant properties. These compounds help prolong youth and improve the condition of blood vessels, the brain, skin, and other organs. Recommendation number 6. To preserve the antioxidant value of coffee, do not add milk or cream. The next question: which coffee to choose? There is a widespread belief that the healthiest coffee is green, unroasted coffee, but this is a myth. The highest amounts of polyphenols and chlorogenic acid are found in medium roast coffee. During roasting to a medium level, the amount of antioxidants increases. With dark roasting, it starts to decrease. Recommendation number 7. Choose medium roast coffee. It contains the most chlorogenic acid and polyphenols, which make coffee the drink of youth. The brewing method must also be considered. Different brewing techniques produce varying amounts of beneficial compounds. Using a paper filter lowers the caffeine content, but preserves antioxidants. This can be the best option for people who are sensitive to caffeine. For instance, brewing coffee this way makes it possible to enjoy 2-3 cups a day without experiencing anxiety or sleep issues. If reducing caffeine intake is necessary, it is acceptable to substitute part of the regular coffee with decaffeinated coffee. This type retains most antioxidants provided the decaffeination process is of high quality. Espresso and Americano, made from espresso, contain the highest levels of chlorogenic acid and caffeine. Next come cold brew methods, where coffee is steeped in cold water. Following these are mocha pot coffee, stovetop espresso, French press, and finally, drip coffee, which has the lowest concentration of caffeine and chlorogenic acid. In the study, a single cup of coffee equaled 15 grams of ground beans, about 1 slightly heaped tablespoon. This is the typical amount used in most brewing methods, except for cold brew, which can require up to 25 grams of coffee. The most benefit comes from espresso-style coffee, as long as it is filtered through a paper filter that removes harmful diterpenes. This brewing method delivers the highest amount of polyphenols and caffeine. If you're sensitive to caffeine, you can choose other brewing styles like pour-over or drip coffee and adjust the strength. Drinking 2 to 3 cups of these may provide a similar amount of polyphenols as a single espresso. If drinking black coffee is difficult, there is an alternative: plant-based milk. Unlike cow's milk, plant-based varieties do not bind polyphenols and do not reduce the antioxidant potential of coffee. This means almond, oat, or soy milk can be added without decreasing the health benefits of the drink. Now, to address a common misconception: coffee does not leach calcium from the body. A large-scale study with 500,000 participants found that regular coffee drinkers had greater bone mineral density than non-coffee drinkers when other factors were equal. Additionally, a meta-analysis of 13 major studies covering 600,000 individuals confirmed that regular coffee consumption reduces the risk of osteoporosis by 21%. This challenges the myth that coffee destroys bones or leads to calcium loss. Coffee does not lower bone density. On the contrary, moderate intake up to 4 cups per day is linked to a reduced risk of osteoporosis. Therefore, coffee should be a part of a healthy diet. It supports bone strength and overall well-being. If you have any questions or something to say, leave a comment. You'll find more information on this topic via the links in the description under this video and on our channel.